Welcome to the PTCB Prep Guide. Today, we are diving into a topic that is super important for your exam, radiopharmaceuticals.
So what if I told you there's this one topic that trips up so many students on the PTCB exam, but that you're going to master it right here, right now? By the end of this short explainer, you'll be able to handle these questions with total confidence. Let's jump in.
All right, let's start with the basics. You got to know the lingo before we get into the heavy stuff, right? This is your foundation for success.
Okay, so what in the world is a radiopharmaceutical? Think of it this way. It's basically a finished medication that also happens to contain a radioactive substance. A common one you might hear about is technetium TC99M, which gets used a lot for things like medical scans. The bottom line, it's a special kind of medicine that needs very special handling.
All right, now for the MVP of today's lesson. Seriously, if you forget everything else, don't forget this one. It's ALARA. That stands for as low as reasonably achievable. And let me tell you, this isn't just some random acronym. It is the absolute core safety principle for everything we're about to talk about. ALARA is key.
Okay, foundation is set. Now let's get into the really high-yield stuff. This is the material that you absolutely, positively need to know for the exam. So, pencils up.
So that ALARA principle we just talked about, it's not just some abstract concept. It boils down to three super simple, super important factors: time, distance, and shielding. Seriously, burn those three words into your brain. They're your ticket to being safe on the job and acing these questions on the test.
First up, we've got time. And honestly, it's pretty straightforward. The less time you're hanging out near a radioactive source, the less radiation you're exposed to. It's that simple. So when you're working, you want to be efficient, you want to be smooth with your movements, all while, of course, keeping everything sterile. Next up is distance. You know how a magnet gets weaker the further you pull it away? It's kind of the same idea here. The more space you can put between yourself and that radioactive material, the better. Every single inch you add dramatically cuts down your exposure. That's exactly why we use special tongs and tools, to create that safe space. And the third piece of the puzzle is shielding. This is your literal physical protection. We use special equipment made of really dense stuff, like lead or tungsten, to physically block the radiation. We're talking about shields for vials, torso vests you wear, and even these things called L-blocks, which are like setting up a mini protective wall right on your workbench.
Okay, quick recap. What's ALARA all about? It's simple. You minimize your time, you maximize your distance, and you always use shielding. Time, distance, shielding. Got it? Good. Now let's see how this all fits into your day-to-day role.
All right, you've got the big idea down. Now let's talk about what you specifically are responsible for as a technician. You can bet the PTCB loves to ask about these procedures, so let's make sure you're ready for them.
Okay, pay close attention here, because the order is everything. When you're heading into that segregated radiopharmaceutical area, you have to garb up in a very specific sequence. It goes shoe covers first, then head and hair covers, then your face mask. After that, you sanitize your hands, put on your disposable gown, and the very last step is putting on sterile gloves, making sure they go over the cuffs of your gown. This whole process is designed to keep things as sterile and safe as possible.
So how do we actually know if all this ALARA stuff is working? Well, we track it. We have to wear these little monitoring devices called dosimeters. You'll typically wear one on your ring finger, that's the extremity dosimeter, to track exposure to your hands, and you'll wear another one under your gown, the body dosimeter, for your whole body exposure. These things keep a running tally over time.
Now let's talk labels, because the details matter. Both the inner shield on the vial and the outer container need to have the radiation symbol, that caution radioactive material warning, and of course the name of the drug. But here's the key difference, and this is a classic exam question. Only the outer label needs to include the volume and the number of doses. Remember that distinction.
Okay, you've got the principles, you've got the procedures, now it's time to put it all together. Let's walk through a question just like one you might see in the PTCB exam. This is where the rubber meets the road.
All right, picture this. You're compounding a radiopharmaceutical, and you happen to glance at your dosimeter. The reading's a little higher than usual, kind of creeping up. What's your immediate thought process? Which one of the ALARA principles do you need to review right away?
So what's the right move? The answer is you review all three. This is the trick. It's not about picking just one. If your reading is high, you need to look at your entire process. Could you work a little faster to reduce your time? Could you use some tools to increase your distance? Is your shielding in the right spot?
The main takeaway here is that ALARA isn't a menu you pick from. It's a system where all three parts work together.
Now, keeping yourself safe is obviously a huge deal. But why do we do it? It all comes back to the ultimate goal, keeping the patient safe. So this last section ties everything together with quality assurance. And this is really that final critical checkpoint. Before any medication gets to a patient, we have to run through the 5 patient rights. Do we have the right patient, the right medication, the right strength, the right route, and is it the right time? With something as sensitive as a radiopharmaceutical, this checklist isn't just important, it's non-negotiable.
So now you can see how it all connects, right? From the way you put on your gown, to the labels, to those 5 patient rights. It all circles back to those core principles of keeping you and the patient safe. It's one big, interconnected system.
Whew, we've gone through a lot, pretty fast. But if you're going to walk away from this and only one thing sticks in your head, I want it to be what's on this next slide.
Seriously, if you remember just one thing today, make it this, ALARA, which means time, distance, and shielding. That is your master key. It's your key to safety in the real world, and it's your key to success on these exam questions. ALARA is everything.
And really, that's the heart of it. You now know what radiopharmaceuticals are, you know the super high-yield principle of ALARA, and you understand the technician's role in all of this. With that, you're not just prepped for a test question, you're ready to be a safe, competent technician. Hey, if this lesson helped you get a better handle on this topic, do me a favor and hit that like button, share it with a friend, and subscribe for more simplified PTCB topics. Your support really does help us keep making more content like this. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you in the next one.